Hello, Transformers and Blokees fans. This is Speedbar Hall, and today for you guys, I have for you Blokees' latest edition of their Galaxy Scale series of G1 units in their Shining series. And in this case, this is the Shining version Volume 3 edition. And this edition is very interesting to their previous editions because not only do we have some new units in this volume, just as we've seen in previous volumes, but we also have a theme with this volume that, well, none of the other volumes came with. And that is, it's actually based not on the standard G1 cartoon or anything, but it's actually based on the Transformers comic book franchise specifically, because it's sort of a mixed deal. Because as many fans have been noticing with the recent line of Galaxy series releases, we've been seeing not a big, but a fair amount of more units from both IDW and Shattered Glass, my friends. And yes, that is pretty much what this volume contains, my friends. More IDW and Shattered Glass releases that we pretty much have been waiting for, and surprising to see because, for example, as you can see here with our new Shining Bumblebee release, you can see he pretty much is just the standard Bumblebee mold as we've seen with the previous releases, but you're going to notice that he doesn't exactly match his normal Bumblebee colors. And there's a good reason for that, and that is because this is not the standard G1 style Bumblebee. This is the Transformers Marvel Comics Bumblebee, which is really interesting. I mean, I didn't even think that Blokees would go into the Marvel lineup, but yeah, as you can see, the blue and all that, that's part of that. And just like all the Shining releases, yes, of course, he comes with an LED feature, which is really nice. Though a number of fans were sort of confused with the window here, only because you would have think that his window would be blue in a sense instead of yellow that blends in with the body. But, you know, that's how it is. Well, besides that, what other returning or re-detailed characters do we have in this volume? Well, another common thing we've seen with these Shining releases from volumes 1 and 2 is that each volume contains at least one Seeker release. And yes, just like them, we have a third Seeker unit, and that is the new mold, the Conehead mold specifically. We have Ramjet in this volume, and I have to say this is a really nice version to Ramjet, my friends, because the detailing looks nice, all the extra molded parts and such look really great. I mean, on Dirge that we got in the previous Galaxy volume, these parts here are actually not even painted. But this version, yeah, it looks great. And of course, his LED feature looks awesome with the window chest here. And just like that. Now, what other characters did we get that were interesting to see? Well, for those who are big fans of the Shattered Glass series, of course, yes, we got another Shattered Glass unit, and that is, in this case, Ultra Magnus. Yes, now this one was an interesting release for a number of reasons. One, a lot of fans actually thought originally this was Delta Magnus when he was first revealed. Now, understand, it was clarified later because originally when we saw the Ultra Magnus here revealed, we couldn't get a good look at his insignia here, so a number of fans pretty much believed he was Delta Magnus because of the color scheme, which is pretty much almost identical to his. But later, of course, that was confirmed to be Shattered Glass Magnus when we saw the insignia and such. And it's a really nice version to check out, even though, yes, I am sort of hoping down the road we will see an additional release for Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus to give us his alternative headpiece because, well, if you've seen the comics, my friends, and such, you'll know that Magnus has a well-known facial design for the Shattered Glass series. Let's just call it that. But yes, this version is really nice, though. The clear piece in the chest is nice because now you could actually see the molded matrix that's inside of him, so that's pretty awesome. I do like that. And like I said, I'm assuming at some point that we will see a possible additional Shattered Glass Magnus and or a possible Delta Magnus at a point, which would be interesting. Very interesting, actually. But speaking of head parts, yes, just as I mentioned with Magnus, he wasn't the only one that actually got an upgrade in this case, because as you can see here, we have the return of IDW Tarn. And this version is really nice, friends, because not only does he have that, you know, the fun LED gimmick the Shining Edition comes with, but as you can see, he's he's sort of a two-headed here. And that's actually the reason because this version comes with two heads, and that is because, of course, you have the standard masked version of Tarn, which is the pretty much the standard look almost. But then, of course, you have the true Tarn face right here, which I totally did not see coming. I mean, I had a feeling when Tarn was revealed, we were going to see like another release of him or like a reuse of his mold for someone. However, but the fact that we actually got his IDW, accurate face to go with his mask, it is so cool. I mean, I love that. It's just awesome to have, especially if you've already collected the other version. And I must mention that too, that if you're wondering, the original face of the Galaxy version Tarn that you see right here, well, what you might not notice offhand is that the mask for this version has actually been redesigned on this version to be more comic accurate. So, yeah, that is so cool. I mean, they look similar, but no, this one's the more comic accurate version, and that is awesome. Especially if if you really love the IDW comics, which I'm pretty sure a good percent of the fan base does. And speaking of IDW, we have two very awesome releases in this volume because these are brand new units and molds specifically. We have IDW Orion Pax and Minor Megatron. Yes, we got this Megatron. This is so cool. I mean, when these were announced, I was like totally like couldn't believe it, but it's like awesome because, of course, if you guys have seen the last Galaxy volume, we got the IDW style Autobot Megatron and Optimus Prime releases. So it's awesome to have the pre-versions and of course the later versions to have on displays. It is so cool. And of course, if you are wondering, since of course like all volumes, there is a rare unit in this volume as well. And the reason I'm mentioning now, because the rare version, of course, in this volume is Minor Megatron's alternate color variant, the Gladiatorial Megatron that you can see right here on the box. Pretty much this version, but in a silver color with different detailing on the chest, and he comes with a new weapon piece to replace the pick, this miner's tool right here, which is so cool. Sadly I didn't pull it, so I do hope to get one later on, but I definitely like having this version, of course, because I'm hoping that means that we will also see other IDW characters, that were connected to these two, related, or just variations of these two later on to go with the other ones we already have. And such, yes, and so forth. Now, of course, a quick minor note, if you are wondering, yes, just like the latest lines of releases, yes, these units are utilizing the latest 2.0 joints. So if you're worried about that, don't worry. The pre-assembled joints are all included, so there's no worries, and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. Now, is there like anything different between them articulation-wise? No, they're all about the same as normal. Ball jointed setup, shoulder, and such, and all the previous molds you see here all share the same articulation to their predecessor versions. So there's really no major difference there. It's just more or less the really cool detailing the Shining versions always get. For example, like here on Ultra Magnus, besides all the nice detailing on the chest and such, you might not actually notice this either way. But if you look here on the insignia piece, there's actually a vein going right through it. I didn't even notice that at first until I looked at this, and then there it was. It's just a vein that's going right onto it, and that is just so creepy, but so cool. I can't wait to see what other Shattered Glass units we'll see later. I am hoping we'll get the Shattered Glass cab version to Ultra Magnus as well to go along with the Galaxy versions. G1 counterparts that you see here. It'd be awesome to have both. And like I said, the alternate headpiece to his as well, if we can, that'd be great. And so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you're wondering, of course, let's do a quick comparisons to some of their previous versions, like you see here with G1B to Marvel B. And yeah, they're really nice. The detailing on this B is definitely really cool in comparison. I mean, even though tire back here was detailed, it's cool. It's nice. I really do like that. And if you, of course, had noticed, Bumblebee specifically in this volume comes with a new piece that no one else comes with, and it's a new piece that Blokees has introduced, and that is an actual human character release. And in this case, of course, we got to go with the classic. We have our good old buddy G1 Spike Wiki, which is really nice. Now, note, I added the paint on here, so you would have to paint him up if you were wondering. But as you can see, it's a really nice piece to have, and he's pretty scale accurate. Though, to be, if you're wondering, yes, if you have your Action Edition characters, yes, he looks very accurate with them, if you're wondering. So there's that, and I definitely like it. And I am hoping we'll see other characters as well to join the other sets, because I mean there are a number of human characters I'm sure many fans would love to see get released. And since we got IDW, I mean you never know, maybe we'll see some IDW characters. If there's any characters you would love to see below, please put them in the comments. You never know, maybe Blokees will surprise us. So yes, that is pretty much it for today, my friends. Do I recommend this volume to you? Well, I know a number of fans at first were a bit on the mix kind of side of things between liking it and not because of certain characters in this set. But if you want my fair opinion, I could easily say yeah, for many reasons. One reason being that if you happen to be a comic fan of the Transformers franchise, you're going to want some more of these, because so far Blokees has been adding more and more with each of their releases, so there's that. Plus, I mean, characters like Minor Megatron, Orion Pax, those are popular enough alone, I'm sure of that. Let's see. And if you're a Shattered Glass fan, of course, you're going to want to get more, because honestly, we know Hasbro and Takard, they do some here and there, but not as many as we'd like. And then there's, of course, characters like Tarn. He is just, he's a fan favorite no matter when he gets released. And, the fact that he comes with his actual official face and mask versions, that's pretty awesome. I mean, heck, you could literally just skip over the Galaxy version and just get one of him and you'd be complete. There's that. And of course, if you're a Seeker fan, well, you sort of need Ramjet here, because he's not in any of the other volumes yet. And most likely the next Seeker we'll get will be Thrust, because unlike Dirge and Ramjet, he's the only one that comes with new wing parts. So there's that. And so that's why we didn't get him in here. Though if there are any other Coneheads you guys would love to see, please share your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. So yes, lastly is that I would totally recommend this set if you're interested in any of the comics, and of course the versions you see in front of me, and if you happen to be a Blokees addict like myself. So yes, I thank you always for coming, my friends. I do hope you're enjoying your hobbies, and I do hope to see you in my next Blokees review. See you all later.